to welcome you watching BW Business World. I am Utkarsh Agarwal. Today I am here at the Indian Business Literature Festival where business meets wisdom. And with me I have author Hardayal Singh. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here.
I'm delighted to be here.
So I have with me your book, The Moral Compass. So please tell us the inspiration behind writing this book and what made you write this.
Well, there are two reasons why I decided to write this book. One was that I wanted to share my 39 years of experience in public life. 6 of these were in an organization which advises the government, public sector undertakings, and public sector banks on disciplinary action which they should take against delinquent officials. So I spent 6 years there, and after I retired, I wanted to share my experience because I thought I had a pretty good idea why people stray away from the straight and narrow path. The second reason why I chose to write this book, because I found that when people take big decisions, they often flounder. And this applies to me also.
Okay.
Now, the idea of writing this book was to find ways and means to restore objectivity to our decision making. In fact, both in objectivity and a sense of fairness. So that is why I wrote this book.
Okay. So as a writer, which books do you read and which books would you recommend to for the viewers to read?
Well, you know, I did history, economics, politics, English literature in college.
Okay.
And I graduated from Punjab University in the year 1969. So I've got interest in all these different subjects, and I've been reading classics and from all these in all these different fields. But I certainly enjoyed books on India, starting from Rudyard Kipling, then John Masters, then let's say later on Arthur Koestler, then V.S. Naipaul, and then I pick up any book on India which comes out, and I must say I've enjoyed reading about my country through different and seeing it through different perspectives.
Okay. So since you enjoy all the subjects, so on which subject will we see your next book on?
My next book will come when I feel I have something to share.
Okay.
You know, when you write a book, because you feel you have some insights which may be useful to other people in some way or the other. It might enrich their life, or it might give them a new perspective. So when I get some new ideas, I shall certainly get down to writing them.
Okay. So some advice you can give to the aspiring writers, what would those be?
My advice to people, young people, would be particularly, I'll give the same advice which I was given.
Okay.
If you're fond of writing, if you feel you've got something to share, then keep writing.
Okay.
And don't worry at all whether, you know, you get the fruits which you're aspiring for or not. Our duty is always to just do our duty. To do karma, because that is something which we can't avoid from the time we are born till the day we die. We can't run away from life. We have to do karma. So if you are fond of writing, yes, that is also doing karma. So if you are fond of writing, then do write.
Okay. Also in this digital era, we have seen all the children's reading books nowadays on Kindle or on screens. How do you see that?
Well, I have a Kindle at home. I've bought books on Kindle also. I must say that it has one advantage, that it saves on a lot of space, but you lose out on something vital, and that is, you know, you read a book because you want to get, you know, you want to get the feel of the book. You want to underline, you want to sideline, you want to mark it. You can't do that with a Kindle easily.
Yes.
So I still prefer hard copies to Kindle. But you know, we have to change with the times. So I have taken to Kindle also.
Okay. So if I could ask just one last question about if one key takeaway you could mention for the viewers, so what would that be?
Well, there are a number of key takeaways, but I think
From
from
this
my
book
point of view, my favorite takeaway would be this, especially post-COVID, that you know, life is such that you cannot have success all the time. You have to confront failure, you have to confront misfortune, you have to confront the death of loved ones. Sometimes due to no fault of yours, you know, you may incur a business loss, correct? How do you cope with it? Leading a successful life actually also involves coping with failure, because you have to deal with failure sometime or the other. And the key takeaway from this book is that, you see, when things happen to you which you do not like, do not want, and it happens despite your best efforts and due to no fault of yours. Let's say COVID came, we lost so many loved ones. Now, the question is, we can't keep, you know, ruining the past. We can't keep mourning all our life. Somewhere along the way, we have to move on. And finding ways to accepting what has happened to you, correct? Despite your best efforts, despite no fault of yours, correct? That is a very great thing in life. And that is what actually all the great religions and all the great philosophers of the world teach us.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
I'm delighted. Thank you for having me. Okay. I'm deeply, what should I say, indebted to IBLF for calling me. Thank you very much.
It's all our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.